Young man, you too can become a hero.
May I take your order, sir? I love a good conclusion. A story that finishes with everything being wrapped to perfection, delivering the closure you need for feeling satisfied and happy with your life. For the conclusion of a character, you could say it's a culmination of events that led to this person ending up as who they are or where they are. Character conclusions can be really captivating and incredible to watch. Or they can have you hating yourself because your favorite character ends up dead, broke, or obese. I've seen my fair share of bad conclusions and moments where I'm screaming, "Get on the life raft, Jack!" So, I want to discuss characters that deserved better, went out sad, or overall just had a conclusion I wasn't happy with. Keep in mind, there are heavy spoilers for everything discussed. What can you expect for a video titled Worst Conclusions for Characters? My inspiration for this video, the absolute king of worst conclusions, Mr. Employee of the Month, Deku. As much as I wanted Deku to be the reincarnation of Freak Bob, serving up all my deluxes, it unfortunately was all fan fiction. Doesn't mean his conclusion isn't garbage though. It still made me want to jump off a bridge. He saved the world from Shigaraki and All for One, but after that, he lost all his powers and became a high school teacher. Like, what type of anticlimactic ass conclusion is that? I want to hear that he became the #1 hero, helping out those in need with a smile on his face. But now, he's gone back to being a quirkless nobody. He doesn't even get the girl! Uraraka is too famous and busy for a bum like Deku. She wanted him the whole 7 seasons, but then, as soon as he lost his powers, she dipped. What a hub! The author didn't give Deku an ounce of winning. This could have been his only dub after losing everything. He could be a freeloader, living off of her income, but now he has to work as a teacher to pay the electricity bill? The worst part about Deku clutching for the whole world is that he didn't work for anybody, so salaries or bonuses were out the window, even for saving the planet. He did it all out of the goodness of his heart, and he got nothing out of it. If I ever save the planet, I'm demanding 10 million a year minimum. Without this man, there'd be nothing left. He prevented a global recession, famine, and Shigaraki, Thanosing everyone out of existence. But the author said, "I've heard enough. Give this man a low-paying job." The rest of his class felt so bad for him, all of them pitched in and bought him an Iron Man suit, with the biggest donator being his lover Bakugo. How'd they make Deku go from being the #1 hero and saving the world to getting handouts and relying on nepotism? He's literally unrecognizable to the public eye. You could get a street interviewer to ask, "Do you know this guy?" And someone would answer, "Oh yeah, that's my 26-year-old neighbor who has an All Might body pillow." No one even knows the guy.
Your ass is like an exotic cricket.
He doesn't even get talk show appearances or show up on the news. No one even thanks him. He's probably doing TikTok lives, eating glizzies as a side hustle. But even after everything he's been through, Deku is still a social reject crybaby that we met in season 1. His persona of being the Batman vigilante of Japan faded, and he went back to being the annoying ass dude who cries too much. Bro, shut up. You're too old for this! The Deku conclusion was abysmal. Peaking in high school may be the saddest conclusion you can ever have. Someone who had a bad conclusion because of how dirty the writers did him is the Marvel version of Quicksilver. Everyone in their right mind knows how OP super speed is. I would say it's one of the best superpowers. There's nothing you can physically do to stop it without your own super speed. When you really think about it, super speed is like teleportation and invincibility. You can only die if you're a literal infant, or they have reverse plot armor, aka Quicksilver. His death in Age of Ultron felt like the worst decision since getting rid of the dislike button. Whenever a speedster dies, it's only for the plot, because otherwise, they can just stop everything themselves, like Red Rush getting popped like a water balloon, or when Superman turned to catch the Flash. I know he's a Man of Steel and all, but you're not convincing me that he can see someone going 8 million miles an hour. Quicksilver in X-Men has the best super speed scene of all time, when he saves a school of orphans from being blown into fragments. So tell me, how the hell did this Quicksilver die to bullets? Bullets should be the one thing that Quicksilver doesn't die to. I mean, literally everything makes more sense than bullets. Have him get poisoned or get cancer.
You'll teach me to outrun cancer?
Why did he die? If this man was around for Thanos, he could have just taken his gauntlet and dipped. But they had to kill a good character in the most trash way ever. Imagine telling the press that Quicksilver got killed by a gun. they'd laugh. And then it would have been revealed that he sacrificed himself for Hawkeye. They would have laughed even more because Hawkeye is lame. That's like exchanging Prime Lightning McQueen for the tricycle I used when I was 3. They should remake this song, but with Quicksilver and Hawkeye.
Why they had to take Kobe, man, they could've took Chris Paul.
Even without super speed, what type of superhero even dies to bullets? That's a normal ass way to go out. That's like how the average American dies, and you're telling me a superhero, the best of the best, are being killed by bullets? They're just letting anyone in the team now, no CV applications or background checks. Quicksilver's death was overall just a bad conclusion for him, and took all his character development and threw it away so he could sacrifice himself for the greater good. Hawkeye isn't the greater good. This dude is trash. The only time this dude should be serving his nation is for gold at the Olympics. He's a detriment to the team. Now, Challengers was like the only movie I've watched in theaters the last year. And I'm just gonna say it, we got clickbaited. I thought we were gonna see a WWE tag team type of situation. I know the trailer had Tom Holland ready to dial Iron Man for a drone strike with all the freakiness happening to his girl. But in reality, Tashi Duncan makes these guys get all hyped, thinking they're getting some Zendussy, and that their two-man mission was a success. But they just Naru Sasuke'd. After she willingly orchestrated this, I should have known she was evil. Nothing against it, of course. Do what you want to do. But if I think I'm getting it on with Zendaya, and I'm actually kissing my best friend, there's no escaping the allegations. We're PS5 players. But this was when they were kids. A bit of this, a bit of that. After she tore her knee in two, and she realized she was falling off more than Supreme, she just became more manipulative and more controlling. She ended up trying to live her life through art, training him, getting him sponsorships, and being mad at him when he wasn't a peak athlete at 33 years old. Not everyone is damn Novak Djokovic, Tashi. But towards the end, I thought she was gonna turn it all around. Support her husband when he was down, keeping him going with all her words of motivation and affection. She cheated on him. Not only did she cheat on him, but she cheated on him with his bum-ass ex-best friend who had $300 in his bank account. Oh shit, he just like me. Tashi started off as a narcissist and ended up as a 2-time homewrecker. First time was so nice, I had to do it twice. She never got any redemption. She never got any character development. Her conclusion was just terrible to witness from a neutral standpoint. I just could never root for her. And not only that, but the movie itself had an open-ended conclusion, which I kinda hate. Because Mouse 1 does his tennis sign from high school to let Mouse 2 know that he got his freak on with Mouse 2's wife. And then they hug? Huh? That was it? This conclusion was worse than Game of Thrones. Where's the consequences for her actions? Where's the I had a prenup? Where's the Mouse boxing match? I had literally zero idea what the conclusion was trying to say. And I guess that's what an open conclusion is trying to do. But what I do know is that Tashi has a bad conclusion and was a horrible person. Maybe all stories need a villain. But I didn't like her, and I didn't like her conclusion. Next up, I think Attack on Titan is the best written piece of fiction of all time. And I'm going to tell you, I think the ending is overall perfect. The conclusion does what a conclusion is meant to do. It concludes. Unlike Challengers, although I think the ending is a banger. If we look at everything from Eren's perspective, the ending is tragic. It has Eren drawing the short end of the stick. Eren had to bear the burden for all his friends to survive, since without him, they'd pretty much be going against World War II equipment with trebuchets and cannons. He was forced down a path of genocide, torment, and treachery just to save everyone else. And before you can say, well, couldn't he just not kill people? Did you even watch the ending? Now, if having to force your friends to kill you isn't bad enough for one of the worst conclusions, hear this. He had to let his long-term enemy, Jean, steal his girl and then start a family with her. What? I would have crashed out if I saw the future and it ended like this. There had to have been other ways that didn't involve this happening, like killing Jean. If I saw that at the medal ceremony, he might have been in trouble. We saw Eren's pain when he realized he was subjecting himself to being a cuck. Just put yourself in his shoes. Your best friend is telling you that your lifelong crush is going to find another guy that isn't you after you inevitably die. And you know he's right because you've seen the future. Eren's misery is more than understandable. The pathetic screams he let out are just the realistic reactions anyone would have. This shit is tragic. He's been sentenced to live the sneako lifestyle, all while watching from a bird's eye view. Some of this hatred for Mikasa must have been true, since he knew she was gonna find someone else to replace him. And how can Jean even take himself seriously when he marries a girl who's obsessed over her dead ex who wasn't even her ex? She probably wore Aaron's scarf to the wedding. Mikasa was probably playing with a Ouija board in secret, trying to communicate with Aaron. He fumbled so hard. And probably died a virgin too. He was so focused on the raid, he forgot about getting laid. Zeke also got absolutely stiffed in the last part of Attack on Titan. A few years after his first destruction, he again got obliterated by Levi, giving him Beyblade flashbacks. And then Zeke decided to team up with his half-brother to enact his plan, which quite frankly, didn't make logical sense to me. Making Eldians infertile isn't gonna prevent a brigade of bombs, little bro. They'd still get nuked. And Zeke was naive as hell to think that this guy, who's been fighting Titan since he was 12, was gonna react and say, yeah, chop off our balls. My race sucks ass. No matter how wise Zeke looked, he was actually a dumbass. He got played not like a fiddle, but the whole damn string section, and was left looking stupid. His whole hometown got trampled because of his actions, and he got front row seats to see it happen. And guess who comes back for round 3 and finally finishes his job? Your favorite middle-parted dwarf. I know I wasn't the only one who thought he was the king of Titans in season 2. Zeke just had an embarrassing time since after the time skip, and his downfall is insane. Anyways, another conclusion I've never really understood was Padme's in Star Wars. Her death did not correlate to her character, and this was just a desperate attempt to try to kill her off. She gave birth to her kids and was perfectly fine, but then she dies because she lost the will to live? What happened to the independent, goated Padme, who's a politician and shit? What happened to her will to bring democracy back and get rid of evil? Why couldn't she just tank the sadness and, you know, move on with her life? She became too depressed and died? What is she, a hamster? I'm not buying it. I know Anakin's a good looking dude, but you don't gotta die over him. Padme knew him for 3 years. That's not even enough time to get a college degree. I guess it's the power of Rizzy. It's just too out of character for Padme to die like that. And this death had me pondering more than it had me sad. Maybe she just couldn't deal with being a single mom. That's always possible. Deadbeat dads aren't for everyone. I don't know. Her death was just too abrupt and nonsensical for me. I think it was just a bad conclusion for her. Plus, you know, I wanted to see more of her. After Reigns published this video, he got 1 million views in merely a week. He gained thousands of loyal subscribers who watched his every video. And then, he became Hokage. That sounds like a great conclusion to me. Thanks for watching, and bye.